Hi, I'm Representative Alana Rubel, the House Democratic leader here at the State House, and this is not the Idaho Minority Report. Starting today, we are renaming it the Democratic Debrief, and I'm going to tell you why. It has become increasingly apparent that the people in this building who are working hard to deliver the things that the majority of Idahoans actually want are the Democrats. It's not the GOP politicians who call themselves the majority. And so I think we need to rethink those labels because, we may have a minority of seats, but we are the ones who are working on the issues that are supported by a majority of Idahoans. And I'm going to walk through some of those issues today. Now, first, early childhood education. 77% of Idahoans support it, want us to fund it. This is something Democrats have been fighting for a long time. GOP politicians in the building? Not so much. They've been blocking a hearing on early childhood education for at least 8 years, and this year they voted to kill a $6 million federal grant that would have allowed us to develop early childhood education around the state. Healthcare. We know, of course, that 61% of Idahoans wanted Medicaid expansion, something that the Democrats have been pushing for since it first existed under the Affordable Care Act. GOP politicians in this building? Not so much. They blocked any hearing or a vote on it for 7 years straight, and when it finally was passed by the people, they've been doing everything in their power to undermine it, and this year, a majority of GOP politicians voted against funding Medicaid expansion. Ballot initiatives. 80% of Idahoans support leaving ballot initiatives alone and not making them more difficult. This is something Democrats agree with completely. We think this is the voice of the people and should be left untouched. GOP politicians in this building have been working feverishly to undermine and basically eradicate the ballot initiative right. The only reason they weren't able to wipe it off the map in 2019 is because Governor Little vetoed their efforts, and this year they're back at it with Senate Bill 1110 that would effectively wipe out the ability to get ballot initiatives on the ballot. K-12 public education. We know that for a majority of Idahoans, this is their top priority. This is also the top priority for Idaho Democrats, who have been fighting relentlessly to try to increase funding for Idaho schools. GOP politicians in this building have brought us to bottom of America in funding per student, and when they had an opportunity this year to use the budget surplus to fund schools, they instead chose to give a nearly $400 million tax cut to the rich. Public transportation. 62% of Idahoans want cities to have the power, the local option authority, to tax themselves to put in local public transportation systems. This is something Democrats have always supported. GOP politicians in this building have blocked any such proposal from ever getting a hearing or a vote. Finally, medical cannabis, something getting a little more press this year. 72% of Idahoans, according to a 2019 poll, want medical cannabis to be legal and available for seriously ill people. This is something that Democrats also support. GOP politicians in this building have gone in exactly the opposite direction, and a majority of them have fought instead to put a permanent ban in our Constitution so that the people of Idaho will never be able to make this available to cancer patients and ALS patients and other seriously ill Idahoans. So this is just a smattering of the ways in which we believe the Idaho Democratic Party is actually representing the interests of a majority of Idahoans, and it is actually the GOP politicians claiming to represent the majority who are actually working at odds with the agenda and wishes of most Idahoans. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for future Democratic debriefs.